It's a beautiful November Friday night. It's approximately 5:40, 20 minutes to go to kickoff on the game clock, and this field may look a little bit strange. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from Viking Field in Houston, Texas, as your St. John 23 Lions take on the Village Vikings. State Championship Berth is on the line here, as the Lions are 2-0 in their East Zone district, and the Vikings are 1-1. Winner of this one will probably be crowned the East Zone champion. There is one caveat if the Vikings do win and Kelly wins, which they're playing All Saints tonight. Then we would have a three-way tie for first, but let's hope that doesn't happen and Lions will get it done. It's Friday Night Football on Lions Sports Network, and it's George Kopf, voice of the Lions, back here with you on this beautiful November Friday evening. We got a good one for you. Vikings Lions coming up in about 19 minutes, so stay tuned. We got a pregame notes and show coming up. It's George Kopf only, but we got a good one. Lions Vikings. So stay tuned, and we're gonna have some fun tonight. We might as well get into our pregame show as we continue to count down to kickoff tonight. The St. John 23rd Lions are the away team today. And so with that has created a new field and a new setup for us as you're looking at the 50-yard line with the refs and such. We'll give you a little bit of a pregame breakdown. The Vikings, the Village School Vikings, they started their high school program about 2008. They're 720 big. They are 5-3 overall currently. Excuse me, 5-3 overall, and 1-1 in this East Zone district. Last week they did unfortunately take the loss. They lost to Kelly 20-50 in what was a surprising score, as the St. John Lions football players were also following that one after their win against All Saints. We are playing a 6 p.m. kickoff again, so we will try to get you some scores in the third quarter, which will be about halftime for all those other teams, since we are starting earlier than other teams. It is senior night tonight here at the Village School, so we will do our best to respect that. We'll probably try to get you that. If all else, we will have a football game. We'll get 4 quarters of football to you. The Lions did win last week, 8-1 overall. They're 2-0 in the district, in the little zone. They are trying to get to their second ever state championship game. It would be the first since that 2013 season. That was huge. Village, on the other hand, they are still trying to get there. They do need some help, but if they do get there, it would be their second in 3 years, I believe. The Lions looking to continue this recent offensive dominance against the Village. The last 2 years, they have outscored the Vikings 84-24, which is pretty big for the Lions. That was a 42-0 shutout at home 2 years ago, and then a 42-24 victory here on this field just about a year ago. A little bit of an interesting note: the Viking Field that you see here is a turf-based field, so no real grass. It truly is AstroTurf, if you will. And this year the Lions are 1-1 on the season. they have that win against Westbury Christian at HBU's field, and then the loss to Cameron Yo, uh, on Yo Field, which was a very beautiful turf field, by the way. Um, the Vikings will probably keep this one a little bit closer than experts think. I would expect a very good matchup. That's why we decided to come out here tonight. Make sure we can document some history for either side. This is actually the second winning season since that record-breaking 2013 team. But this team 5 years later is looking to do something that team couldn't do, and finish. And to be honest, this team looks more offensively sound than that 2013. That 2013 team was dominant, but this team's got all the weapons to do it right. Thing to watch while you're joining in on our stream is to one thing to watch while you're looking in the stream is Coach Richardson to have in mind is Coach Richardson, the head coach for the Lions, is 3-9 on the year, 3-9 on the road as the Lions head coach in the 3 years. However, yes, you may think, oh, the Village is going to win then. However, he is 1-0 against at Viking Field, that 42-24 blowout. Now, in years past, every time they've played a district opponent on the road, there's been some off and on, but the 3 wins would be the 2 of them actually coming this year. So if you count it, the Lions are 2-0 on the road, 6-0 at home, or 2-1 on the road. I'm sorry, 2-1 on the road, 6-0 on the home. Definitely, again, you're going to want to look for that trick play. They call it the Toledo Special. It was that touchdown last week was scored. That was how that touchdown was scored. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometime at some point last week. They're 5 for 5. The Lions are 5 for 5 when using this Toledo Special trick play. So definitely look for them to use it again. I would not be surprised if we see it being used. Jake Williams, the running back receiver, he usually is put in the slot. Otherwise, he's put in the running back position. Heads up, because he's going to have another big week. He had a huge breakout week last time out at SJ23 Stadium. He had 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving, and that will definitely, that 41-point production last week is going to hopefully carry over to tonight. So that right now in the last 3 games, after the loss to Cameron Yo, the Lions have scored. They have scored 75 points, and they've outscoring 75 to 12. That's 2 shutouts, and the 12 points are to Beaumont Kelly, which was a very good game in the rain. So you're definitely going to see some points being put up tonight. Either side, these teams are very offensive, especially last year. The year before that, I would not say so, but this year, definitely you're going to see some offense. This is the 3rd recorded matchup between these 2 teams, as we know of. There could have been one prior to 2016, but it's pretty sure that 2016 was the first matchup. This will be the 2nd time in a row that they're playing at Viking Field, which supposedly means that this series will be going back for the final game and final year of the independence back to SJ23 Stadium. So we'll have the Vikings back in the friendly confines. The big matchup this week to watch, the Vikings rushing defense against the rushing offense of the Lions. Either way, you can switch that, the Lions rushing defense against the Vikings rushing offense. Either way, this is going to be a game in the trenches, on the ground, and we'll see how the Lions do, but you definitely have to look at it with the fact of just be cognizant that you're going to get a lot of time run off the clock, not many plays, because of the running on the clock. Got some good games going on. This week with Lutheran South traveling to Cypress Christian. That is the LSCSN Game of the Week. Our friends at lscsn.com you know, are going to be doing that one on the radio, so you can go and listen to that one at halftime if you want. That's at 7. Fort Worth Christian taking on Prince of Peace. That's in Division 2 play, and that's in Carrollton, Prince of Peace. Rose Hill Christian will take on Brazos Christian in College Station, so, or Bryan rather, Bryan. So kind of just where I came from at A&M. But Rose Hill will look to continue their undefeated season. Antonian, out of San Antonio, is going to take on St. Pius in Houston. Garrett Gunnell is going to be back out after his record-breaking game a few weeks ago. They did have a bye, so we'll see what Grant Gunnell can do after breaking that record. If he definitely will add to it. And finally, Central Catholic, in that same district, Central Catholic takes on Concordia Lutheran in Tomball. We'll get you up to date with those probably later on in the third quarter. We're nearing 9 minutes till kickoff, which puts us at 5:50 or 5:51 to be exact. Again, we are live from Viking Field here in Houston, Texas, on the campus of the Village School to see the annual Village St. John the 23rd rivalry that I've called a rivalry that has turned into one after some hate and some, some here and there. So we'll definitely see the Lions and the Vikings get at it tonight. Got a good one. So in 8 minutes and 40 seconds, according to the scoreboard, we'll have the kickoff. So coming up next, kickoff from Viking Field. You're watching Friday Night Football on Lions Sports Network. And we are nearing kickoff, 5 minutes, which is 5 minutes away from Viking Field. Once again, I'm the voice of the Lions, George Kopf, for those of you Viking fans that are joining us on this beautiful November 2nd evening. Friday Night Lights in Texas. Can't get better than this. We'll probably be playing under the sun for the first hour or so. But once the sun goes down, which will be probably after halftime, we've got a good one. We'll have a pretty exciting one. I'm going to be doing my best to call the game, give you a camera, and get the football, all the scores, and call everybody's name. Man, I wish I had more hands. But speaking of hands, if you are a Lions St. John 23rd student and you're interested in doing this type of stuff, sports media and sports broadcasting, come and let us know. Go let Mr. Callis know, or send us an email. Send me an email. I'd love to hear who would be a good replacement. As you know, we are the official broadcaster for Lions Athletics, and we're glad to have our this time actually our home fans, the Village Vikings, glad for you to join us, and we're very appreciative of them allowing us to come out and be able to do our broadcast on the road. Once again, this is the first time Friday Night Football has come on the road. And even though it's only about 15 minutes from the St. John's 23rd campus, it still is on the road. It is still new territory as we get ready for the to play the national anthem with about 3 minutes to go. We'll be back right before kickoff to get you the runouts, which the Vikings look like they're ready to do here soon as they're coming out of their locker room. Lions Vikings coming up from Viking Field in 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go as we'll get the national anthems, the runouts, and kickoff approaching. So stay tuned. Got a good one. And it's a cool November evening. Beautiful, no clouds. This is what Friday Night Football is all about. And it is our last of the season. Of the regular season, rather. Not of the season, of the regular season. As each team, regardless of who wins and who loses tonight, will play one final game in even if they do lose, in a third place matchup with somebody from the other zone. We do know that the opponent, if one of these teams do get to the state championship game, will be St. Mary's Hall out of San Antonio. They clinched their spot with going undefeated in their East District last week against Cathedral. They did beat Cathedral. And so TMI will play Cathedral tomorrow to determine 2 and 3. And then that 4th seed is actually going to go to Cristo Rey. As the Vikings get ready to run out. And the St. John 23rd Marching Band has made the short trip. Short trip here. We got and here they come, the Village Vikings. As we are approaching kickoff. Coming up next from Viking Field. But first, the national anthem as it is 6 o'clock on the dot. Once again, I am George Kopf coming to you live from Viking Field for a good one. But first, we will honor America with the singing and the performing of our national anthem and a prayer. So, you're watching Friday Night Football on Lion Sports Network. We'll be coming back in just a moment. Coach, we're taking Lion Sports Network on the road. That was Coach Jackson. Some accomplishments, some well wishes as we get ready to honor America. We'll be back in just a moment. As we now bring you back to Friday Night Football for the opening coin toss. So we bring him to the 50. Here we go, and for your Lions, number 74 and number 60, that would be Alex Sycophus, number 60, and number 74, Andrew Blick, as they will go out to call the coin toss. And we'll figure out We will get you here in just a moment of what the result is. Once again, glad you could join us, and we're excited to be here Friday Night Football. And the Vikings, and the Vikings will defer. They have won the toss. And the Lions will start with the ball to start this East Zone showdown between the St. John 23rd Lions and the Village Vikings. We'll see the Lions offense first. As we get ready for some Friday Night Football, it looks like the Lions will be kicking from left to right on your screen. Or I'm sorry. You see here the St. John 23rd fight song. Full band. Pretty good cheering section over there. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The Lions will be going left to right, and the Village Vikings will be kicking from from the right 35-yard line on the right side of your screen. And it looks like that's number 34, Francesco Castelli, a senior who's going to be kicking it off for the Lions, or for the Vikings, I'm sorry, for the Vikings, as we get ready we are live from Viking Field. It's a little pooch kick over here. We're going to be run out by number 13, Matt Jasek, at the 32-yard line. That's where the Lions are going to take it to start their first drive of the night. Or it's going to be closer to the 34. The 34-yard line is where the Lions are going to take it and see what they can do. That offense is being guided by the quarterback and all-around player Ben Turner, number 11. See what he can do on this first possession. Different view for us tonight. We're trying to work with it. The motion, Ben Turner's going to hand it off. Number 22, Tommy Lloyd on the handoff. That was Kyle Paul, excuse me, not Tommy Lloyd. Kyle Paul got the handoff, and it now makes a 2nd and long again, 2nd and 7. As there's about 11:20 on the clock. Our clock is always going to be off a little bit because, again, I don't have 5 hands, but we're going to do our best we can. As Ben Turner is under center again with the motion, number 7, Jake Williams, is going to get the handoff. He gets out to the far side. The ball comes out. And did it come out, or was he down? That's Jake Williams is down on the ground on the 2nd play from scrimmage. And they're stopping the clock. Jake Williams is down again, number 7. And it's going to be unclear on what that looks like. It's going to be a 3rd down. Looks like it did not. They called him down by contact, but he's definitely not. He's going to walk off the field with some help, but that's a big loss. Again, I mentioned Jake Williams was the one that had the 3 touchdowns last week. That's a big loss early. Hopefully, we'll try to get a report at halftime, unless he comes in earlier. We might just be cramping, but that looked more like a injury than it did a cramp. So 10:48, 3rd and long for the Lions offense, trying to get something moving on this drive, first possession. Last week they were almost perfect on their first half possessions, 4 for 5. Motion, Ben Turner. Oh, that was Matt Jasek who looks to throw through his receiver, his intended receiver, number 21, Kyle Paul. And we got some vuvuzelas, so I'm going to try to speak a little bit louder than normal. Kyle Paul had the was the intended receiver. Jason came in, could not find him, so that's going to be a punt for the Lions offense on their first possession. You want to try to start to set the tone early, but apparently you try to start early, but instead it'll be a pretty short punt. It's gonna take a Vikings bounce, but the Lions will pick it up, and the Vikings will start at the 45 is where the Vikings are gonna start. So the Vikings now set with good field position after that 30-yard punt or so. And this Vikings offense, it's got a bunch of sophomores on it. Looks like a lot of it got a lot of sophomores, a lot of youth. And it looks like it's going to be led by the leadership of number 13, Joquan West. And quickly, seeing that there was not much time on the play clock, he calls a timeout on Village. That's gonna be their first timeout. And early in this, when they are having to be forced to call their timeout. So a very interesting setup already to start their first possession. Looked like they had spent too much time in the huddle, as we're not quite under 10 minutes yet. So put some time left back on the clock. Here in the first quarter, they're gonna try this again, but the play clock doesn't start until the ref's whistle. And they hand it off to number 2, Keyshawn Thomas. He gets a short gain. The Lions defense, they're head by that senior Alex Sikafus. I'm not sure if that was who made the play, but see what the offense can do. 13 again, Joquan West, your quarterback for tonight's, for this evening for the Vikings. 20 seconds on the play clock, plenty of time. He looks to throw. He steps up in the pocket. Pressure comes, and that's a fumble. That's a fumble forced by number 60, no one other than number 60, Alex Sikafus with the sack. The fumble was recovered by the Vikings. By number West did recover it, but that's going to push him back way deep, and the clock's going to continue to run. So like that, they're facing a long 3rd and 20-something to go. Maybe even 30. Big pressure brought by the senior defensive end. Again, West looks to throw. He's got a man, number 85, at the 40 to the 45 to the 50 to the 45 and out around the 43. You can't have that if you're the Lions defense. Can't get that conversion. But they're going to mark him just short. They're going to mark him just short, so it's going to be a 4th and short. Great stop there. He did get out to the 40, caught it around the 40-yard line, and just took that far sideline for a jaunt. But the Vikings are going to go for it on 4th and 1. This could be a huge play. Early in this one, it's a bad snap. It's a fumble. West is going to try to do something with it. Instead, he can't. He's making his way through some Lions defenders and instead gets taken down around midfield. So that's a turnover of downs. The Lions are going to get back, and they're going to have a short field. So a burn timeout for the Vikings. And about 2 minutes off the clock results in a fumble on 2 fumbles on that drive. And just like that, some miscommunication on that last snap. The first one was definitely just a bad snap. That last one was miscommunication, so the Lions are going to try to do something here now. 5 receivers, excuse me, with Kyle Parr in the backfield. Looks to throw. This time out to number 6. To number 9. I'm sorry, number 9, Nolan Deers. Moved that one too much. So move the chains. That's a first down for the Lions. And they're now in Village Viking territory for the first time tonight. And the Vikings defense trying to come up big on a second stop, second possession for the Lions. Jasek is in there, and he hands it off, or he pitched it out to the far sideline. Number 12. I'm sorry, number 22, Tommy Lloyd, I'm pretty sure received that one. I don't know, there was a bit confusion there, but second and manageable, 2nd and 5 from the 35, or just shy of the 35-yard line. As Matt Jasek is in there for Ben Turner, we're not sure why. Maybe just a elected decision to put him in, but starting to do something on this first drive. He looks to throw, and it's incomplete. May have been tipped on the line, and that intended receiver was Nolan Deers on this close sideline. But instead, it brings up a 3rd and 5, so still a manageable third down for the Lions. Not quite in field goal range for that leg of Ben Turner, and at this point, we don't know what Ben Turner's status is. But right now, we have Matt Jasek. Oh, looks like Ben Turner's back in there. I say that, and Ben Turner's back in. He's under center. He looks at, oh, it's Matt Jasek. I'm sorry. He looks to throw. Incomplete. So it's going to bring up a 4th down with about 7 minutes to go. So now you have to start to think, what do the Lions do here? And they elect to look like they are going to punt. And we haven't seen Ben Turner tonight. I wonder if he's the one that went out. I'm pretty sure that it was number 7, Jake Williams. I see him still, and Ben Turner's over there on the sideline. I wonder what the issue there is. We'll try to get some more information. But right now, it's number 20 who's taking the punt, a good punt, and it's a nice catch at the 15 by the Vikings, by West. And West gets it out to the 25. He's going to take it out of the 29. So that's where the Vikings are going to start. That was number 20. Parker Wall is punting now for the Lions on the last 2 punts. And that first Vikings possession resulted in a turnover on downs after 2 bad fumbles, 2 bad snaps. So the Vikings are going to try this again. From around they're 20 yards farther, or 15 yards farther, but they see what they can do with 6:56 to go in this opening quarter. Still scoreless, 0-0. Vikings have burned a timeout. They burned one earlier, unless the clock was not reset, in which we should have added a timeout, but I'm pretty sure that regardless, Vikings are going to go to, and there's been a timeout, a flag. There's a flag. And it looks like a delay of game. So that's going to push the Vikings back 5 yards. So can't do that, trying to not helping themselves. So now a 1st and 15 from the 24 instead of from the 29. West hands it off to number 2. And he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage, so 5 yards. That was Keyshawn Thomas on the carry. So 2nd down. And he looks to throw. He tried to get the big man over here, number 85. Austin Hill, the senior, tied in. Again, couldn't find him. Just threw in and out of his hands. So a 3rd and long for the Vikings. Back next to West. West is going to take the snap. He goes all the way back to the 15. Pressure coming. And he's going to try to run it himself. He gets to the 20, to the 31. And out of bounds is he gets. So it's a quarterback keeper, but not enough for the first down. And the Vikings are going to be forced to punt from the 30-yard line. Unless you elect to go for it, in which risky, but a potential to change this first quarter if you elect to punt or to go for it. But it looks like it's going to be number 2, Keyshawn Thomas is going to be out there the punt. And he goes to punt it, and that's a high punt all the way back to the 30. He waited for Travis Gay, 18. He waited for some space. He's got some space on this close side. He's still on his feet. Oh, and he gets crumpled, taken down around the 50. And he might, hopefully he's okay. He got the legs taken out. He's okay. He's good. He got some space, and boy, he had a kickoff. He had a punt return touchdown last week that was nullified by a block in the back. But showing that space again tonight, and like that, 5:42 on the clock. Let our clock get up to speed. And still, I'm not sure if Ben Turner's out there or not. And it still looks like Matt Jasek, the backup, is in there. He will become the starter next season. But he hands it off to 18, Travis Gay. And the ball, did the ball come out? The ball came out, supposedly. And the ball came out, and just like that, on the first play, the refs are still, and they just pointed. It is Vikings football. And on the first possession, on the first play of that possession, the Lions are going to get their defense right back on the field. There was some brouhaha over here on this close sideline, and all of a sudden, it just resulted in a 10 seconds on the play clock, resulted in a fumble, and so that's a turnover. And West is going to get pressured. You get taken down by number 9, Nolan Deers. And again, another sack by this Lions defense. That's like 3 on the day, and it's only the first quarter. That's one by Nolan Deers and one by Sikafus. That's 2 on the day. It brings up a long second down. West is still in the backfield. In the shotgun this time with, looks like Keyshawn Thomas next to him on his right. He takes the snap. West drops back. It's pressure again. And he evades the pressure. And an acrobatic deflection, and Travis Gay came down on his ankle, and he's limping off, and looks like he's gonna be all right though. He's good. Again, that's the second takedown he's had in the last few minutes. But that acrobatic deflection saves the Lions from having the Vikings short 3rd down. Instead, it's still a long 3rd and 20. West drops back. Another pressure brought incomplete by number 30, Adrian Martinez, and on that one, Alex Sakafus bringing the pressure. Number 30 was Adrian was just there to make sure it fell incomplete. So the Vikings are going to have to punt again. So they're going to have to punt again. Each team's got 3 possessions up to this point, and nothing doing with their possessions. The Lions have a fumble, and that's a good punt, a real good punt. To the 25, Travis Gay again looking for some space. And he's going to get taken down around the 20-yard line. That's where the Lions are going to start. And they're going to have to drive the length of the field. Or pretty much the length of the field. And Matt Jasek is still in there, leading me to believe that Ben Turner must be injured or something, because he is not gone into that huddle once. I think he did on the first play. The first play he went out there on the first play, but so the Lions are gonna take it at the 20-yard line or 21-yard line. And Tommy Lloyd's going to keep moving his feet. Oh, that was Kyle Paul. I'm sorry. Kyle Paul and Matt Jasek leading this Lions offense. Usually it's Tommy Lloyd and Ben Turner. And instead, looks like Ben Turner's out there warming up. Now, Tommy Lloyd seems to be MIA, according from our view over here. As we reach the 3:30 mark, 14 seconds on the play clock. And the Lions are going to have to call something. 5 seconds. The motion, Jake Williams is back in there. Another fumble. Another fumble. Another fumble, this time again recovered by the Vikings. Again by the Vikings. Back-to-back possessions with fumbles and recovered by the defense. And you can't have that if you're the Lions. You're trying to get a win here. Jeez. And it's not even that cold out here. I have no jacket on. I'm just nice in my short sleeve. I think it just has to be something about that ball. Can't hold on to it. You can't hold it right. You can't get anywhere with it. So the Vikings are in business now at the 28-yard line. Short field. We'll try to do something. I mean, last year in this game, the Vikings got out to a 10-0 lead, then allowed the Lions to get back in it with 42 straight or 35 unanswered, and to run out to this close sideline by 13. West, freshman, to 25-yard line. It was only 2 yards, so at least that's a plus for the Lions defense. So a long second down. Glad to see on that last possession, yes, Jake Williams was back after that what appeared to be leg injury, undisclosed leg injury, but he's back. And West is back. This is in the eyes. He's the quarterback, and it's a pitch, or it's a snap and a pitch. Very strange formation there. Direct snap to number 8, Trajan Lewis, and then it was got to West eventually on the pitch. So it's a short third down at the 20. Lions defense is going to have to come up big here. Otherwise, you allow a big third down conversion on this short field. West and Keyshawn Thomas there. It's a snap to 8, and again, the same play, but to the other side of the field. West take it down. He's going to have enough for the first down, so move the chains. It's from the 14, or from the 15. So they have to get to the 5 before they can get a first and goal. As we're nearing the end of the first quarter. And there's some confusion here between coaching staff and ref. And the clock's going to start. Should start on his whistle. Oh, I'm sorry. The play clock will. Now the actual clock will. It should start on his whistle, which it did. Timeout. And interesting events there, but regardless, Vikings now have the ball at the 15. Again, a handoff, this time to number 2. Number 8, Trajan Lewis, is taking the snaps, and he's just pitching it or handing it off. 51, Ivan Gorski was there for the Lions on the tackle, and so it's second down from about the same spot. Interesting formation that the Vikings are running here with Lewis as the receiving the snaps, but you got 2 backs who can run. I mean, we've seen it in the first 2 possessions. They can run. As we are nearing the end of the first quarter, they're going to have to run a play. And it's a pitch out to West. West goes into the pile to the 10, or around the 10. Yeah, to the 10. And that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. So that will take us to the 1, and that will take us to the end of your first quarter. And your score, we are scoreless here in Houston, Texas, 0-0 in an important East Zone showdown. In a long first quarter, we did get off to a early start, or late start. Your score, 0-0 at the end of the first. We'll be back in just a second. And welcome back. And with the change of the quarter, we should go down to this side of the field, which the ball is being placed at the 11-yard line. A 3rd and 5 is coming for the Vikings, and that's what will start the second quarter. And it's on this side of the field, which will definitely provide the Vikings with some encouragement from the crowd. And Lewis is going to go to the end zone, and that's going to be incomplete. I'm sorry, I missed that one there. Incomplete. If he was going to catch it, he was going to catch it not even in the soccer lines. That's how far outside it was. So a 4th down stop by the Lions defense from at the 11-yard line. And so if you're the Vikings offensive coordinator, you have to decide whether or not you're going to go for it, be risky, or you're going to take the field goal. Looks like they're going to take the points to start off this second quarter. Very similar to last year's game. Last year it was 10-0 at the end of the first, but very interesting start. We'll see what they can do. And the kick is going, the hold. Hold's good, and it's blocked. It's blocked by the Lions defense. Ben Turner and Tommy Lloyd were in on that play, and just like that, the Lions will take over after a field goal block. Take over at the 20-yard line. And as I mentioned, it has been a battle of the defenses so far, folks. And Ben Turner, it looks like he must have had he must have done something, because he's out there to start the second quarter. So it must have been some sort of rules or violation or something, because he's out there, and so is Tommy Lloyd. The Ben Turner now, no, I can tell because he has no arm sleeves. He's a man. He's going to be under center here to start the second quarter possession. And timeout. Timeout taken by the Lions. It's going to be the first of the half. And we're pretty sure the Vikings had to burn one unless the play clock was not reset. We're going to go with that they had to use one, but either way, not many timeouts called in this game. It's just some stoppages that have caused the refs to just kind of keep these possessions not all continuous. Still scoreless here in Houston. Again, we are live from Viking Field. It's the St. John 23rd Lions take on the Village Vikings. 11:48 to go. 11:48 to go in this second quarter. And Tommy Lloyd got that one. He's probably they're gonna give him some yardage, but not much on a second down and long now. Tommy Lloyd is now back. And again, he's that workhorse we mentioned pregame, that he's going to keep his legs moving and get as many yards as he can after first contact. So the Lions huddle, and now we're ready for the second down play. Ben Turner looks at everything he sees before every play. He told me that he does that not just consequently, but just see where he could go, and he escapes some pressure. He carries a man to the 28-yard line, moved the chains for a first down. Great awareness, as I was mentioning. He didn't just look. He doesn't just look. He looks and sees what holes he can find already pre-snap, and there he found one. He found one that surprised the Village defense. And great playmaking by the senior quarterback, who is playing his last regular season game along with the other seniors on this roster. Had a nice senior night for them last week, but trying to get it done on the road. Again, last time out on the road, they did win 14-0 over Evadale. Hand it off. Nothing going for the Lions. That was Tommy Lloyd. Gets nothing. He gets maybe an inch, but they're gonna mark him at the line of scrimmage again. So it's a long second down for the Lions. Vikings defense, not just playing defense by position, but defense by committee. Defense by committee. As Ben Turner received the play, he's getting out here. 10 seconds on the play clock. Gotta be careful on a long second down. He looks to throw. It's up and complete. That thing got tipped pretty high in the air. Beautiful sunset, by the way, but tipped up in the air. And again, another player down. And I think that's Jake Williams again. He went up for it. That's Jake Williams again. And you gotta be careful here at this point. That's the second time he's gone down. He went down at the first quarter. He goes off on his own with some help from the coaches. I'm sorry, he's really getting help from the coaches, and it looks like that left leg is what they're worried about. Take an injury timeout. Less than 20 seconds on the play clock. They're gonna have to hurry here. With not much time on the play clock. 2-1, and Ben Turner goes to throw it. He's got a man, number 8. Brandon Sierra out to the 50-yard line, and he does a nice little first down arm, and like that, like he just mentioned, that's a Lions first down. Finally trying to make some progress this time now with Ben Turner in, And you got to think, seeing what you saw with Matt Jacek, it's going to be an interesting year next year. But that's what summer is for some growth and some development. So we'll see what the Lions offense can do here. There's a motion. It's over here to number 9, Nolan Deers. He's got some running room down the sideline, out around the, where are they marking him? Around the 39. Move the chains again. Another first down for the Lions, now inside Viking territory. So another first down for the Lions, and the Lions are just cruising now on their 4th possession of the half. Ben Turner looking for some running room. He gets around to the 40. Tries to just manhandle number 13, I believe. That was West, either West or 21, Keegan Theron. Tried to manhandle him, but couldn't quite get more yardage. He gets to the 38. Halfway through or not quite halfway, 7.5 to go in the second quarter. And again, I mentioned the Ben Turner and Tommy Lloyd's awareness, and Jake Williams, who we're looking here, and it's not quite, he's getting checked at and looked at on the table, but his presence not being there doesn't give Ben an option. But he rolls out, he sees a man, and that is picked by the Vikings defense, and to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. That's going to be a pick 6 for the Vikings defense, and put some points on the board to start this in this second quarter, to finally get some points on the board. It was intercepted. They're marking. They are not giving him the touchdown. I'm sorry, they're not giving him the touchdown. There is a flag on the field, or that was just a marker. And we're going to see what I was pretty sure he stayed in, but supposedly you can't make that throw in the traffic. And he had looked like Travis Gay or Garland. And there was a flag. Not a touchdown. Good. Again, not a touchdown with 6:50 to go in the second quarter. It was an interception. Personal foul. Personal foul on the Lions, or on, we're gonna get some clarification here. Oh, it is a touchdown. It is a touchdown. So some confusion. There was a personal something after the play. So it is a touchdown. It is a touchdown. Vikings strike first. Vikings strike first in the in this one with a pick 6 thrown by Ben Turner, which means the Lions will get the ball back again. And again, once he picked that off, he had open space. Ben Turner tried to make the tackle, just couldn't quite get the tackle at the shoestring tackle. I'm not even quite sure who made the pick, but it was an interception, and they're going to bring on Castelli for the extra point. Attempt the extra point to make this a 7-point game. We've seen some blocks before by this Lions defense. 2, in fact, against Kelly. So we'll see what they can do on this extra point. Castelli is going to be kicking it. It is through the uprights and good. So your new score from Viking Field, Vikings 7, Lions 0. As we'll get a kickoff. And just a reminder, remember the Vikings did defer, so they will get the kick to start the second half. So if you're the Lions, you got to score, and you got to score quickly here. To start this, halfway through this second quarter. And if you're the Vikings, all of a sudden the momentum's in your hands, and you're playing pretty good. And the Lions were making a pretty good possession, and they drove it down the field, and all of a sudden, you throw a bad errant pass, and he was double teamed. He was double teamed for the record, but Ben saw it and tried to thread the needle, and his needle was just shy. So we'll get the kickoff here after we adjust the scoring. For those just tuning in, the Vikings did get a pick 6 off of a Ben Turner pass that put them up first after a scoreless first quarter. So Castelli's going to kick it off to the Lions offense, or the return team. Ben Turner's Travis Gay's out there, and the kick. It's gonna be a line drive to number 8, Brendan Sierra. He muffed it, but then slipped and couldn't quite run it. So the Lions are gonna start deep, like deep. Okay, we're not just talking 20-yard line deep. We're talking 4, folks. 4-yard line deep. The Lions are going to have some sort of crazy possession, tie this one up. Instead, all of a sudden, this Vikings crowd has gotten it back into it, and if you're the Lions, you cannot have any kind of that. You can't have that going anywhere. So the Lions, deep in their own territory. Ben Turner's on their center. See what he can do. He's in his end zone. He goes to throw. He had a Nolan Deers open. Just overthrew him by about the length. Excuse me, by the length of a football. Just not even that much. Slightly over, but out in front of him. Either way, he had the chance for a big conversion and probably would have gotten some space, but instead the Lions are still deep in their own territory. I like the play calling by Coach Richardson. Definitely, instead of just running it up the middle to get some space, you be risky. And so Ben Turner, he's got 3 receivers and Tommy Lloyd in the backfield. And he's trying to get some space. He's got to be careful. He's got some space on the far sideline to the 20. He's going to get out of bounds at the 18. Move the chains. Ben Turner with some awareness again. More rushing yards than passing yards tonight. He's got a pick, but he's got at least 80 rushing yards up to this point. As we got a good competitive one here. Not really a blowout yet. Good competitive football game on November the 2nd. Friday Night Lights in November. Gotta love it. Chance for the state championship on the line. In motion. Ben Turner hands it off. Gets it to Tommy Lloyd to the 21. So Lions are just going to keep this possession going. They're 5:40 on the clock. Have plenty of time to try to get into the Village territory. This would be a huge drive. This would be a huge drive to it'd be a huge drive to get a touchdown on. Don't want to be too premature. It's Ben Turner under center. Motion, hands off, blocking out in front. Tommy Lloyd gets to the 28, so it's a short, 3rd and short for the Lions offense, and with 5 minutes on the clock, so the Lions offense is going to have to get this conversion to continue this drive and to continue their chance to bounce back quickly. We've seen this second half offense kind of sputter. This offense sputter in the second half, so you got to start early. The Lions, if you're the Lions, you got to start early. And Ben Turner taking himself again, and he's going to get taken down. Going to get taken down short of the first down. Around the line of scrimmage, it's going to be 4th and short, and the Lions are going to be forced to punt. The Lions are going to be forced to punt, and you're going to give it to the you're going to give it back to the Vikings. At least it wasn't a pick 6, but you're going to give it back to the Lions or to the Vikings regardless, with a chance to extend their lead. Less than 4 minutes to go. As Ben Turner's back to punt, I believe. Good punt past the Village receiver. It's going to take a Lions bounce. Inside the 20. A fantastic punt. Great roll, great bounce, great punt overall for the Lions. And so like that, just like that, flip the field for the Vikings. Try to get a big stop here. Get the ball back before the half is over, potentially. You still got 2 timeouts in your pocket. And we'll have a big halftime show here, and we'll get you a halftime report, but we'll get you the Lions band again and the Lions cheerleaders, so stay tuned for that. But this time West dropped back. Nice catch on the far sideline, but a gang of Lions defenders is going to get him. So a medium gain makes it a 2nd and 5 for the Vikings with 3:20 to go. 2nd down and 5. And West again is still back there as your quarterback. They took out Lewis, no more of that snap to 8, and instead they give it to Keyshawn Thomas, and he's going to get taken down by again, my favorite one to call, Alex Sakafus, number 60, Alex Sakafus, the senior. I'm going to miss calling that next year. I'll be honest, I'll miss calling the Sakafus there. Because that pressure brings up a 3rd down for the Vikings, with a chance for the Lions defense to get off the field and for the Lions to get the ball back in a reasonable field position. West is going to be behind. West is going to take the snap. Keyshawn's going to be to his right. Play action, gets pressured, and he evades the pressure. He's in the end zone. He goes to throw, and deflected on this close sideline by number 11, Ben Turner. No, who else? Brings up a 4th down, and the Lions are going to get the ball back with a reasonable amount of time. 2:12. They're going to probably get it with about 2 minutes to go, and you're going to get some good field position out of this stop. The Lions had a chance to pin the Vikings deep, like 4-yard line, but West was able to spin out of that one. And again, the Vikings offense has not been able to get going on their 5th possession, and so they're gonna punt again. The only score currently on the board, the 7-0 lead for the Vikings, is off of a the lead is off of a pick 6 thrown by Ben Turner. So really, a good punt to basically the 50-yard line, to the 49. The line on the line side of the 50, so the 49-yard line, their own 49-yard line is where the Lions will start. 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the first half. And we've got some Friday Night Lights now. Now I can say Friday Night Lights. The sunset is come and gone. It's gotten a little bit colder, which means I probably should have put on my jacket here at some point. But the Lions are going to get a chance. I see Tommy Lloyd in there. I see number 65, Trevor Oakham, O-lineman. He was the one that scored a few weeks ago against Kelly, the lucky touchdown that bounced around. He was able to just pick it up and run it in. They could call a timeout. Timeout's gonna be called by the Lions. It's gonna be their second timeout of the half. Probably will be a 30-second timeout. So to recap one final time, as the students and some students finally start to file in to this game. To recap one final time, our halftime report will be a little bit different, like versus our home halftime reports. We will give you coverage of the band and of the St. John performances, and then we're going to turn the camera around and we'll give you some halftime report. A halftime report from us with as many scores as we can put together, as it is just reaching the 7 o'clock kickoff for most of the other games, but we'll check Max Preps and see what we can get you. Again, your score is 7-0 Vikings on that pick 6. The Lions are driving, or about to start their drive from their own 49. Tommy Lloyd in the backfield, Turner under center. He goes to pitch it. Oh, we've seen this play before. We've seen this play before. It looked like it was going to be the Toledo. Looked like it was going to be the Toledo, or close to it. And the refs throw a flag. It's going to be on the defense. Looks like a holding or a personal foul. I'm not entirely sure. It's going to move the ball into Vikings territory. It must have been a personal foul. It's going to move the ball deep in the Vikings territory. So either way, you can almost say that Toledo was going to work anyway. Not quite a touchdown, but I think that is the first time we've seen the Lions. That is the first time we have seen the Lions attempt the Toledo tonight and not get and on the season. The first time they have not gotten it, which again surprising. Again, I told you they were 5 for 5 on that to play. Wasn't quite to Toledo because they got blown up in the backfield with Jacek. I saw Jacek come in. I was very confused, but we see it before. Ben Turner sees the pressure. That's Garland McClure at the first down marker. This time the pass is complete. Out of bounds, so the clock will start on the snap because he got out of bounds, and like that, the Lions are in business. Oh, it's not quite a first down. Not quite. They're marking him just short. Second and short. But now you're facing a second and short, minute 30 to go in this one. And the Lions have a chance to get some points out of this drive. But they're going to have to hurry. Not much time when you got with the motion. And it's tipped at the line, so stop the clock again. And the Lions are trying to pass a lot. I think they've realized that the run is not working. And like we mentioned, we said it was going to be run for one, toe for toe. Rushing defenses on both sides, rushing offenses on both sides, both good. So that basically cancels out, so you have to go to your passing game. And we've seen both offenses do that tonight. Of course, their passing offense has done a little bit better than the Lions with that pick 6. But again, that pick 6 was a good throw into traffic, but should have been a little bit thought about a little bit better by Ben. But now you got a third and short, and you got to get this conversion. They hand it off to Tommy. Tommy's looks like he might have gotten an. Oh, he's going to be short. Nope, they're going to move the. They're going to move the chains. They're going to move the chains. Give him a first down. They're going to give him a first down. I was going to say he pretty much got over that 15-yard line, or the 25-yard line. I'm sorry. And right here is the edge of Ben Turner's field goal range. So you're looking for a touchdown any way you can get it. And with just about 67 seconds to go in the half, You got to start playing a little bit of some pickup, some speed up game, some no huddle, 2-minute drill here. The Lions are not doing any of that. They're taking their time, 8 seconds on the clock. And the pile keeps moving. You got one timeout in your pocket, and I wonder if Coach Richardson is waiting to call that timeout. And the clock's going to keep ticking down, 2nd and 4. And you got to get a play off, 26 seconds. You got a timeout, so you could take 2 shots to the end zone with this amount of time. Trying to get it done here. The snap, Ben Turner gets out to the far side, goes to throw. And it is caught on the far sideline. Out of bounds, too, so stop the clock. So great play by Ben Turner, puts the ball at the 4-yard line. You've got to convert here if you're the Lions. You've got to convert. And Coach Richardson is not happy at the ref. And the clock is going to continue to run. Coach Rich is going to have to use a timeout. And there's some confusion here. There is still 5 seconds on the clock. Our clock is wrong, but again, there is still 5 seconds on the clock. Timeout taken by timeout taken. Okay, the Lions are going to have the ball on the 4-yard line. 11 seconds left on the clock. He was out of bounds, and I saw the clock continue to run. So the Lions are going to have a chance here on the 4-yard line. 11 seconds to go. Trying to get into the end zone. And man, the coaching staff, the Lions coaching staff is just getting upset at what's being called here. And there's some confusion. You got to call. You got to get quickly. 7, you got to get set quickly. They're running to the line of scrimmage to get set. They're set in motion. Turner, the pitch to number 18, Travis Gay in the end zone. Timeout. Again, more confusion. Was he in? It appeared that he got a touchdown. That Travis Gay got into the end zone on the pitch. Should be 15 seconds on the clock. So supposedly the touchdown won't count. Again, there's some confusion. Our ref over here on the sideline. Get you a zoom in on there. Some confusion. Something just didn't look right too. The Lions saw the play clock. The play clock was at 7 and counting, and they had to run to the line of scrimmage. They got set. Ben Turner pitched it out to Travis Gay, got into the end zone on the left side. But it looks like they're going to try it again. We're unsure about how much time is on the clock. The scoreboard reads 6 seconds. The Lions are going to be literally probably a yard shy of the end zone, trying to tie this game up before halftime. And if the Vikings get a stop here, this would be probably one of the biggest goal line stands I've ever seen. Because all the confusion here, no mics on the ref, you can't hear, you really can't see and envision what's going on. So the Lions are going to have to snap it. They're probably going to get one play. It looks like right as I say play, Vikings going to call a timeout. So their second timeout of the half. Their second timeout of the half is going to be gone. Each team's got one timeout. According to our now that's not including the confusion and the confusion or the or what happened in the last 5 minutes. But we're going with the fact that it's 6 seconds on the clock. The Lions are at the 4-yard line. Okay, they're at the 4-yard line. A little run play up the middle is going to score you, get you a score. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Coach Richardson does that again. Obviously, the Village defense was not set because of their coach, Baggett. Their coach saw something he didn't like, and I'll get you that in a second here. Kevin Baggett, his 3rd season as the Vikings head coach, decided to call a timeout. He didn't like what he saw. So here we go. Ben Turner is under center. Again, we got to stop. And the play clock's going to start now. Not the real clock. We've had timeouts. And they're going to try to push in. Did he get in? And a stop. And it looks like they're going to convert, but it looks like he did not get in. He did not get in, so that's going to take us to halftime. Coaching staff's going to be pretty upset at how that half ended. You got to think that you had to get in. You had to get in on that score. You made a great drive down the field, had a nice pass, had 6 seconds on the clock. You knew the play call. Everyone knew what the play call was going to be. You knew what the play call was going to be. And like that, you've got to be upset. If you're Coach Richardson, you're upset at how that half ended. Regardless, your score at halftime is good guys 0, bad guys 7. Or in layman terms, Village Vikings 7, Lions 0. I believe only their 2nd time being shut out in a half this season. In the first half, at least. They were shut out against Kelly in the 2nd half. But you got to be upset about that, how that half ended. Some confusion. Either way, we'll take it to the locker room. We'll get you the band and the cheerleaders for the St. John's 23rd Lions. And I think we have a performance by the Vikings at some point. We'll be back with a halftime report shortly. Your score 7-0 Vikings in this East Zone showdown. Vikings will receive when we start the 2nd half. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes. You're watching Friday Night Football on Line Sports Network.
The clock didn't start running.
I saw that, but what was going on? Were we trying to call a timeout?
No.
And then, because what Coach Rich, all of a sudden, they ran to the line of scrimmage, 7 seconds on the play clock.
We called a timeout.
We get into the end zone. Because Garland got there. I'm pretty sure. Or
no, he didn't
Garland,
get there.
Travis got there.
He didn't get there.
Was he short?
Yeah. He was short. He was
By
short.
how much?
3 yards. 1 yard.
Because he was. From here, I thought he was in.
No, yeah. That's
And then
what
on that quarterback sneak, everyone knows it's coming. You know it's gonna be the play.
But see, the quarterback sneak god is Tom Brady. No one can stop Tom Brady.
Oh no, nobody can stop Tom Brady.
It makes no sense how no one can stop the slowest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady on a QB sneak. I don't know why.
You know what? This game should be 7-7. Or should be 0-0.
Nah.
Jin made that throw. Okay, yes, it was a terrible throw, but I saw what he was doing. He had one snap on the receiver. So it was a throw. And he made the tackle. He made the tackle. But what I was really curious is that I saw the guy get the throw. I saw him in the end zone. I thought it was good. I saw the block, but I was like, if they're going to call that, that would be like bullshit. Yeah, I saw that too. But
deal. If we lose this, let's just say, okay, what ends up happening is we would have the tiebreaker over Kelly. And let's say Kelly beats All Saints, which they should. We would have the tiebreaker with Kelly. Kelly would have the tiebreaker with Village. But Village would have the tiebreaker with us.
There has to be a wild card.
Which would go to the wild card points. And if you take the wild card points, then how many points we won? Like how many
Let's say 7-0, that's kind of good.
well, no, it's not. If you look at wild card points means it's a table that has assigned points to wins. Like, so if you beat a D2 team, a Division 2 team, you get 4 points.
We get points for
So we would have, guess who'd have those points? We would. By like,
we played like 3 public schools.
we'd have 33
Play
points.
Bradley,
They would have 14. Kelly would have 12. So either way, we would still win.
It'd just be a lot harder to do
It would, and it wouldn't be finalized. It would be like,
like, yeah, like people just stay.
you have to wait to see what Kelly did. Because either way,
What if
Kelly
All Saints
lost,
beats
well,
Kelly?
if All Saints beats Kelly, then if All Saints beats Kelly, then Village goes to the state championship.
And we don't.
Because Village would have a tiebreaker over us.
Hey, but Village is on our curse.
Yes. So we're 2-0. They're 1-1. They lost to Kelly last week. All Saints is 0-2. So the only reason All Saints is celebrating.
Hey, this is the problem though. Look, they don't have that many guys on their roster, so they're gonna start getting tired in the fourth. And we have
Okay. When I was been taking as doing the stats and stuff. Okay. We punted twice.
They were suspended. Garland, Ben, and Travis, and Tommy are all suspended. They're all suspended. Someone snitched. Someone snitched.
They went off their word. They don't have.
So they, I saw Matt Jason.
Yeah, Matt Jason.
I saw him and I'm like, I realized all of a sudden
Now
our
is
four
it?
guys were not in there.
That's the starting tight end. Plays tight end.
But he's the backup QB, and I don't know. Yeah, so they do it. We're 5 for 5.
I think this year.
We're now we're 5 and 6. But I don't know if you saw, but they literally, they must have watched probably 30 to 20 hours of film.
Literally the only play that we scored.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. They got pressure. So when you get that pitch, okay, and then in the reverse, you're thinking, okay, well.
They didn't stay with the QB like most teams do. Yeah.
No, they stayed with Matt, and Matt got. But did you see the first one down? He like straight up like just. So that's why we were. And then Garland had that nice catch. Hey guys, I'm going.
I'm putting it food.
We're in
But,
food.
yeah, they got laid out of
water.
Yeah.
That's your
Give me a water. Give me a dollar. I'll give you a water.
Is it $1?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Here. Just a record.
Hey, also, we're pretty sure 58, the guy at 58 on their team, we're pretty sure he's committed to A&M.
58.
Yeah.
Is he the?
He's the big guy.
He's not the biggest dude,
guy.
he's the best.
How do you know?
Because,
63 or 53?
No, on our team, 63 told him about 58.
Trevor,
Clint.
Oh, Clint, yeah. So he told y'all.
Also, he's on every time they count them if it's stopped on the inside on the run plays. Guess who's always there? No, yeah, 58.
Or 58, sorry.
He only transferred this year, so like that DB they have is pretty good though.
No, that's awesome.
He's the one that got the pick six.
Yeah, he's too athletic.
He is.
You see when they were running? They were running out here, they were running a modified ball. So it was going to 8. 8 was getting the ball, but he was pitching it. So I was like, wait, where did this guy get?
They have two athletes who switch off from a quarterback. They have 8 and 13.
Yeah, because of the rush right now, they don't have possession.
It's funny because Parker Wall isn't on the huddle roster. He's not even on
I have him on my St. John roster. Because I got the roster from the program. Somebody sent it.
We'll come back.
Yeah, come on back. Water, please.
Again, you're watching Friday Night Football Online Sports Network. We got halftime festivities with 19:46, 19 minutes 45 seconds left on the clock. So we will, when we get down to about 5 minutes, we'll return our coverage. Your score again at halftime is what reflects on the scoreboard. 7-0 Village Vikings. Lions got stopped to end the half at the Viking 4-yard line. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, so stay tuned. You're watching Line Sports Network. And welcome back to some Friday Night Football. Turn it back up here. Zoom in or zoom out. There we go. Again, this is what my face looks like. And you can actually hear me this time. I'm George Kopf again, and I've put the jacket on. It's a little bit cold. We got 3 minutes till kickoff. I'll give you a quick analysis. The Lions, I get my stat book out here. The Lions offense was stopped to start that, or to end this first half on the 4-yard line. Definitely needed a score on that one to go into halftime with some momentum. But again, you also can't punt on, I don't know, like 3 possessions for the Lions. And you can't have a pick 6 either. That's been the difference in this game. The difference in the game has been the defense. Has been the passing defense and the passing offense. The Lions are, I don't know, they're passing pretty efficiently except for that pick 6, and they had a good pass to Garland at the 10-yard line, and that put the Lions in position for, and there we go. Put the Lions in position for that chance to score on the 4-yard line. Couldn't get it, but I think watch out this second half. We have confirmed Jake Williams is still clear to play. Ben Turner and Tommy Lloyd, they're back. Everyone's back, ready to go. We're going to have a good second half coming. 2 minutes to go. One thing I do want to mention, this Vikings defense has forced 2 fumbles and an interception. That's 3 turnovers tonight. That kills you as an offense. Kills any momentum you had. You go from being pretty solid to just nothing. And this Lions defense has got to get better. They have a field goal blocked right so far. We got 1 field goal block, turnover on downs on the Vikings' first possession. But other than that, the touchdown, that they really haven't let the Vikings get any big gains. Not really any big offensive production. Only that pick 6. Again, it's the only score. It's cold or cooler as we've reached the second half. I did put the jacket on because all of a sudden it's gotten cold. I'd say probably 59, 60 degrees is what we went from being probably 70 degrees, 65, 70 degrees in the first half. Probably somewhere upper 50s, lower 60s. So that's probably going to make a difference in the second half. And you got to think that that has come into play in the locker rooms and discussing what is going to be. I think the Lions will get a touchdown here. I think they will. Remember, the Vikings will start with the ball to start the second half. But I think the Lions will get a touchdown at some point here in the third quarter. Make it close. Make it exciting. This game is far from over. Got a good one. Stay tuned. Second half is coming up right now. I'm gonna zoom it back in. We got the and that was your halftime report. No sponsor because we're cheap, unfortunately. So that was your halftime report as we get ready to start quarter number 3. And that's a fumble on the kickoff. Muffed kick. He gets a space. He gets to the 35. There we go. Sorry about that. We're trying to get our clock working. There we go. Get our clock working. It is the third quarter. 8 seconds went off of that one. So the Vikings will start. They will start with the ball at the 38-yard line. Had to count there. Lions defense coming out at halftime trying to make a big stop. And you got to think that that kickoff return messed everyone up with the muffed punt. So here we go. On first down. Got 3 receivers out. Loaded backfield, number 2, Keyshawn Thomas gets some space, gets over into Lions territory to the 42, right in front of us. Move the chains, and the Vikings offense all of a sudden has just come out of halftime with some momentum, and that momentum carries over from the missed touchdown QB sneak to in the half. Oh, that's a false start. Definitely some flags there, some premature motion. So push them back 5 yards to the 46. This isn't Canadian. This is not the CFL, unfortunately. Cannot move. Before the snap before the ball is set. You can only move motion, but you can't do what they just did. Again, the Lions both teams have been pretty evenly matched, except for that pick 6, which is your only score. I keep repeating that because it should be 0-0, or 7-7 if the Lions had scored in that last play before half. Again, some more illegal motion, and so we're gonna get another false start. And back-to-back false starts pushes the Vikings back into their own territory. And just like that, with just under 11 minutes to go in the third quarter, the Lions are still trying to get a big stop. Bring in another personnel, stack the box, or 4 going to be rushing the quarterback. 60 breaks through. Sikafus, that was a catch by number 21, Keegan Theron, at the 50 numbers exactly. That's going to get some of the penalty yardage back as the clock continues to tick down. So, again, this time they only bring 3. They're going to... Definitely something doesn't look right. Another false start on the Vikings. So push them back again. Again, it's second down. That's been 3 false starts in the last 30 seconds or so. So the Vikings, again, are on their own side of the 50 because of the penalty. And the Lions are going to looks like they're going to bring 4 with an additional one around the Viking logo. West is going to take the snap. He rolls around. He's looking for a man. And good coverage around the Lions 30. It's going to bring up a long third down. Lions probably could have picked it off at some point if they had thought about it a little bit harder. Just like that, the ball will be placed at the 49. And it's going to be a long third down. This is when at home, if you're watching, Lions got to get loud. Lion fans, you got to get loud and start screaming at your TV to get that third down stop. And Vikings see a guy over here, 32, and just incomplete. And again, the Lions defense comes up big, gets a third down stop. That was to number 32, Ench Bendari. He's a sophomore. Just went over, it just was a little bit over his head. So the Vikings are going to punt from their 49, which puts Travis Gay at the Lions 15. This punt's gonna probably pin the Lions deep in their own territory. That's okay. We did that last time and almost scored. So see what they do. And it's a bad snap. And instead of it being a deep Lions territory, a bad snap by the Vikings and pressure bringing from the Lions special teams punt unit is going to put the Lions in business at the we'll see where they mark it here, at the 34. So that's a first down for the Lions at the 34. yard line. That's the Vikings' 34-yard line. And so the Lions are going to look to try to get something early in after stopping the Vikings on their first drive. Motion, hands it off to Tommy Lloyd. He keeps his legs moving and churning to the 30-yard line. 2nd and 5 now as the clock continues to tick down because it was a running play, so the clock should continue to tick down. Tommy Lloyd is, after entering in the second quarter, he has made a presence. He keeps moving his legs. Like we said, he's the workhorse. He's the guy that he's the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps on moving. And again, and a handoff over to Tommy Lloyd to the far sideline. Did not do much, but maybe get a yard or two. So the Lions are going to be facing a 3rd and manageable, as long as no penalties get seen. They're going to have to. This looks like you would be 4-down territory. You've got to get something and come back from that score and try to show this Vikings defense that you can score. I mean, they had a chance to score and they should have scored in the half, but with Ben under center, we'll see what happens. Tommy Lloyd in the backfield. He goes to throw. He's got a man and incomplete. That man was number 15, Garland McClure. So it's a 4th and 5. And if you're the Lions, you're considering going for it. No harm would be done. No harm would be done. I mean, the ball is being spotted at the 29-yard line. Is at the 29-yard line. Even if you don't get it, you give the Vikings decent field position. You have a chance to get a conversion and continue this drive with not much time on the play clock. They've got to snap it. Motion to Travis Gay, and Travis is going to try to get to the outside. Did he get there? They're going to stop the clock. From here, it looks like he's short. Is it a 1st down? It is a Lions 1st down. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the Lions offense stay out there, but instead it is a turnover on downs. So just like that, the Lions offense comes to a halt in their first possession. So both teams can't do anything with their first possession of the second half. Very much like the first half, where neither team could do anything. So now the Lions defense is back on the field. West is going to be in the backfield for the Vikings. He looks to throw. He pumps fakes once. Pressure coming on his blind side. He's going deep to right here. And number 8, Trajan Lewis makes a fantastic catch at the 40-yard line. And West was getting pressured, so he just had to make a throw and hope for the best. And my goodness, did he hope for the best. Lions now inside Lions territory. That's their first big play of the evening. Gets this Vikings team around. Oh, and that's a bad snap, and that might just push them back, but instead they're going deep, and that's just going to go out of bounds. Good decision by the freshman quarterback. He may be young, but he did make a mental decision right there to not let that turn into a loss of yardage, and instead keep them on the 39-yard line. That's the Lions' 39-yard line. And on the pressure there, it really wasn't pressure. It was just a bad snap by the Vikings defense, or Vikings offense. I'm sorry. So they stack here. They got 2 in the backfield, and it's a bad snap. Oh, and the Lions may have picked that up. They may have picked that up. They're going to stop the clock. Lions are going to try to pick that one, and instead the Vikings are going to keep the ball. They picked it back up. I think that was 20. I want to say 21. I think that was Keegan Theron. He was the senior. I'm pretty sure he picked that one up. after it was a bad snap again to exchange. And we see Trajan Lewis. I saw him come in. So watch some trickery here. Got a lot of athletes on this team on a third down. To West and Thomas in the backfield. It goes to West. West is looking for a man to throw to. He's going deep. And it's intercepted. Intercepted off the tip by Matt Jasek. He's going to run it back to the 35, to the 40, to the 45. He's going to get to the 50-yard line. And just like that, and some finally good fortune by the Lions is going to... Matt Jasek was there playing center field. Didn't really think he was probably going to get the ball, but instead of not just getting the ball, he got the interception and he ran it back to about midfield, and just like that, the Lions are back in business. So now the Lions in good fortune, and both teams now have a pick. Lions still have 3 turnovers with that fumble. Vikings, that was their first turnover of the evening. Turner draws back. He's going deep. He's going deep. And it's a catch. It's a catch to the 10-yard line. First down for the Lions, and now first and goal. That was a great catch by Garland McClure, and again, he finally gets another catch. And he got one there to end the first half, or that was that last positive play at the first half. Great play by the Lions offense. Ben Turner just throwing it. He put it right in Garland's hands. Garland made the rest, got out of bounds, and the Lions again are in business, this time at the Viking 10-yard line, first and goal. Vikings defense going to have to step up. Travis Gay hands it off to Tommy Lloyd. Tommy Lloyd untouched. Touchdown, Lions! Touchdown, Lions! Tommy Lloyd in for the 10-yard score. He just took it to the right through a hole on the right side. Untouched. Touchdown. And just like that, we've got a brand new ball game. Tommy Lloyd again making his presence known. But again, you have to say it was set up by that Ben Turner pass and catch to Garland McClure. And it's not finished yet. You got to get the extra point to tie this game. Ben Turner on for the extra point. And the hold, kick is up, and it's good. So your score 7-7 with 6:15 to go, just about halfway through the third quarter. The third quarter, not second, third quarter. And we got a brand new ball game, folks, to make up for that missed opportunity to end the first half. You get it this time. Tommy Lloyd just, man, my excitement levels have gotten back up. It may be cold, but we're excited now. Tie ball game. 6:15 to go. Your score, 6:15 to go, and your new score is Lions 7, Vikings 7. But credit the Vikings defense for what they did on that drive. They brought pressure. They did just about everything right. And we got some shaking of the camera strictly because these Vikings fans are on their feet now trying to get the Vikings back in this. And the Lions will kick off. That will be Ben Turner with the kick from the 40-yard line. Each team's got 3 timeouts. No timeouts burned yet. This might come down to the wire. Glad we're here and glad you were joining us on YouTube. It's Friday Night Football on Lions Sports Network. 7-7 is your new score after that Tommy Lloyd 10-yard run. As Ben Turner gets ready. And just like that, it's a whole new ball game. So let's start off like that. And a squib kick on the ground almost went through the legs of number 12, Chris Constantine, a freshman. So he had to get that one and just lay on top of it. So the Vikings will start at the 38. Pretty manageable. Last time out, they threw that interception. So just like that, that's 7 points. So each team's got 7 points off the turnover margin tonight. So West drops back. He's getting pressured. He's going to run it himself and taken down by none other than number 60, Alex Sikafus, or Sakafus. That's my nickname for him. And it's going to be a timeout taken by Village with 6 minutes to go. With 6 minutes to go, Village is going to take a timeout, which gives us time to catch our breath, because we're getting too excited over here in the visitors' crow's nest. I want you to examine that we are in probably probably close to 6 foot by 6 foot little square overhang here at Viking Field. Beautiful facility, great fans. Definitely you want to have fans that get into the game and just like they should, they're getting into the game. And here with a second and 10 coming, 6 minutes exactly on the clock. So we are exactly halfway through this third quarter. Again, it's 7-7. We are live from Houston, Texas, Viking Field. Lion Sports Network's on the road. First thing, of course, every time you do something first, you're going to have an exciting game, exciting broadcast. Our first basketball game, exciting. First football game, exciting. First softball game, exciting. I mean, what's next? What's next? Like some sort of record-breaking event? I mean, I'm not going to get too far, but Vikings going to have to snap it here. West looking for a man. He's trying to go deep. He's going deep. Incomplete. No flags. Just over the head of number 21, Keegan Thuron. We've been calling his name a lot tonight. He's been trying to get open, and this Vikings offense has basically abandoned the run, and they've become one-dimensional with the passing game, and it's worked to a certain degree, but they really haven't been able to get anything on this. Haven't been able to get anything in this third quarter. Might want to change that here with a long third down. Lions defense trying to get off the field. West drops back again. He's going deep. And it's tipped incomplete. Vikings receiver, that would be Austin Hill, as a senior, laying on the ground in just spite of just frustration. So Lions fans that made the trip, the 15-minute trip from Katy, are getting excited on the far sideline, as we're going to be expecting another punt. Travis Gay is going to be back to receive around the 30-yard line. Out to punt is number 34, Francesco Castilli. And it's going to be a blocked punt. Picked up by number 13, Matt Jasek. He's going to the house, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Lions! Touchdown! Matt Jasek with the blocked punt for a touchdown. And then we say defense. Defense has been getting it done tonight. That's the second straight punt that's been blocked, or just been blocked, or just a bad snap. And the Lions on the blocked punt, Jason got his big paws up there, picked it up, or caught it in the air, took it to the side. I may have called that one a little premature, but it was a house call. Hashtag house call. And just like that, your Lions will lead 14-7 with 5:39 to go. In the span of just about 45 seconds, your Lions were down 7-0, and now have scored twice off the turnover chain interception that then was set up a probably 40-yard pass from Ben Turner to Garland McClure, which then set up the Tommy Lloyd 10-yard touchdown run. Then you have this blocked. You force the Vikings off the field, and instead of forcing yourself off the field, you get a punt return for a touchdown on a blocked punt return for a touchdown. The chain of events that just went on in the last 2 minutes or so is just incredible. And so the Lions will kick off to the Vikings again. Defense is going to go back on the field, but this game has been a story of defense and a little bit more exciting I am now. Talking like Yoda. And just like that, the Lions kicking off with a 14-7 lead. Very much like it was last year. The momentum, the Vikings scored and the Lions just started to score back. They had to get something in them. And so the kick is be nice and high to the just inside his 10. He's going to run it out though. 13, that's West, the quarterback and the athlete. Get to the 25, taken down by a swarm of Lions, but that's going to be leading the charge was number 3, Weston Glick, and number 17, Nicholas Moon, who we really haven't called much tonight. Nicholas Moon still making a presence on the defensive side. And the kickoff team. He's a senior as well, playing his last regular season game, just as the other seniors are. Brennan, Ben Turner, Garland McClure, Nicholas Moon, Travis Gay, Tommy Lloyd, all these guys playing their last regular season game in what it feels like. But just like that, 14-7, Vikings now trailing, and a bad snap. West is going to try to run it himself. He's going to get to the 30. So 2nd and long coming. The 8 seniors part of this team playing their last regular season game. We wish them the best of luck in their endeavors, but they're not done yet. This game, they'll have one more week of football, postseason or playoff football, depending on what happens here. And the pressure coming by 2 receivers, or 2 Lions, and a great catch on the close sideline by 21, Keegan Theron. Again, we've called his name too many times in the span of a few minutes. And we'll quiet down just a little bit, not to be screaming at you, but we want you to enjoy the action as the Vikings got a first down there. Man, this is exciting. This is fun. This is what talk about high school football. Friday Night Lights. Can't get any better than this. 4 receivers out. West alone. He's gonna run it himself. Number 55, Jake Bodler, finally making a presence in the backfield. So that was a quarterback run. Will not count as a sack, but instead will force the Vikings to face a 2nd and long, 2nd and 11 to be exact, as we count down less than 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. If you're the Lions, you're just trying to play some good defense here. Don't make too many mistakes. Start to just protect and cover. Going deep is West. Did he catch it? No, it's incomplete at the 31. Incomplete at the 31. Again, you had 2 guys on the coverage and still had it. That was 85. Austin Hill still trying to make the catch, and that's just good defending by the Lions. If you're the Vikings, you gotta go for something. You just have to go for the marbles here. 3rd and long. Lions trying to get the defense, trying to get off the field. I've said that multiple times, but it is truly. And there was movement, not just on the camera, but on the line. False start, and it was movement by the offense that caused the defense to flinch. So it's an offside, or a false start. So the Vikings are even facing a 3rd and long. And just take in the sights of Friday Night Lights. Just great. Wow. This game is shaping up to be all that it was hyped up to be. A showdown, a defensive, really a defensive showdown, but West is going to drop back. He's going to run it himself. He's going to get out to the 50, do a spin move, get to the 43. And boy, he just had a mission, and he was on a mission to get that one, just get positive yardage, and he did. So that's a first down. That's a first down for the Vikings. And just like that, again, new fresh set of downs. The Lions defense going to get off. They did bring pressure, but just when you bring that type of pressure, you leave an open field. And if you have a good enough athlete, he's going to find it. West, again, another bad snap. And he's just going to go down. That was 4. James Lloyd broke off of the line, and he had him. But West did a little shimmy and a move, and a little dance moves out here to avoid James's pressure. But then Jake Barler took him down once he got to the just behind the line or behind the line of scrimmage. So at the 46, Vikings on the Lions' 46-yard line, 2nd and long. Seen this before. West is getting pressured by James again. He's going deep. Incomplete yet again. And James Lloyd again for the second straight play. Was bringing pressure. Got West break outside and had to scramble. And instead of just throwing it away, West tried to find a man. He had a man downfield. And good defense again by the Lions. So a long 3rd down. We saw this just a few minutes ago. West is going to try to break around to the left. He's got Keyshawn Thomas to his left. He's got his favorite receiver out to the left as well. He's going to run it himself. He's holding that football not very securely. And he's just going to get just back to the line of scrimmage. So a 4th and 10 from the 41 and a half. And it looks like the Vikings offense is going to stay on the field. But I don't know. Either way, it looks like they're staying on the field. They've had the last 2 punts. One just was blocked. The first was blocked. The second one was blocked and returned for a touchdown. So they're going for it. West, low snap. He's going deep. He's going to the sideline. He gets some space to the 20. So the 4th down conversion. So a 4th down conversion to the 20-yard line puts Village with a chance to tie this game. And when I say we have a thriller, we are not just talking about like a Super Bowl thrill. We're talking about like a fantastic high school football thrill. And guess who it was on that takedown? Number 60, Alex Sakafus, as the clock winds down here in the 3rd quarter. Pushing the Vikings back to the 25. 2nd and long. Again, this is the 3rd set of downs that they've had a 2nd and long. Each time they've been able to convert either on 3rd or 4th down. West is going to have his Keyshawn Thomas to his right, or to his left rather. He's got number 21, Keegan Theron, receiver on this close side. 6-5-4. They're going to have to call it. They're going to call a timeout. Either way, they're going to have to put one. Oh, that's a delay of game. And they did not get it off in time unless they call the timeout. No, it's a delay of game on the Vikings. So pushing back 5 more yards. And that's been the story of the second half for the Vikings. 3 false start on their penalties on their first possession here. And as the clock winds down, the play clock will reset. That's going to take us to the end of the 3rd. So on a comeback, after 2 straight touchdowns in the matter of 45 seconds, your score at the end of the 3rd quarter. We got 1 left, folks. 1 left. Your end of the score at the end of the 3rd quarter. Your score is Lions 14, Vikings 7 from Viking Field here in Houston, Texas. Good one. 12 more minutes to go in this game, unless we need overtime. But 12 more minutes of regulation. Winner goes to the state championship game, potentially. Lions will have 3 timeouts to start the 4th, and the Vikings are down to 2 after they had to burn one earlier on. So they'll be facing a 2nd and 19 from the 30-yard line in just a moment. So just like we do, we got quarter number 4.
You better not show anything of me, Lexi. I'm not.
Lexi, on a scale to 10.
And we've got a instant classic. That's the proper word. We've got an instant classic going on in Houston, Texas. So if you're nearby, you should come on down. I think they're still accepting people to come on in and watch this last quarter. If you leave right now, you will probably be able to catch the last 5 minutes. I can guarantee you this will be the most important 5 minutes of this game. West looking for somebody. He pumps fakes. He's going deep. Oh, and it's dropped right at the goal line. If he had caught that one, that was a number 31, Marshawn De Benedictus, freshman. If he had got that one, my goodness, this crowd would have gone into a frenzy. Let's just be honest, into a frenzy. And he dropped it and it dropped right, it like bounced right onto the goal line. So that would have been a touchdown for sure. As they got 15 seconds on the play clock, they're going to have to snap it fairly quickly. They don't want to delay a game. They got 3 receivers out. Another low snap. West, he's got a man at the line of scrimmage. That's Keyshawn Thomas. It gets no gain. So a 4th down and long for the Vikings. And it looks like the Vikings offense is going to stay out there to go for it. They have to. Down by a touchdown in Lions territory. Almost at this point, you kind of have to go for it. They're going to have 3 receivers on the far right, 2 on the close sideline. West is alone in the backfield. And something didn't look right. Timeout taken by the Lions. So the Lions are forced to burn their first timeout of the half early here in the fourth quarter. And I don't think in the 2 years that I've broadcasted high school or St. John 23rd football, I don't think we've seen a game like this. This one-ups the rainy game. This one-ups just about everything you can think about. 14-7, a minute and 12 seconds to go in the a minute and 12 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Can't get any better than that. In our next timeout, we'll get you some scores. But right now, West, on the 4th down, West has got a Keyshawn Thomas to his right. 2 receivers on each side. Low snap. Pressure bringing by Sycophus. And by 51 to the end zone. Collision incomplete. So all of that for nothing, and the Lions are going to get it on a turnover on downs. So just like that, Lions are going to get it back. Looking for another score. That was looked like that was 85 and Keegan Theron. That was Austin Hill and Keegan Theron, 85 and 21. That were trying to get it done there. But instead, Lions force a 4th down stop on 4th and long, forcing the Vikings defense or offense to have to throw it deep. So now, Ben Turner's under center. He takes the snap. And there is a flag that got thrown into all of that. I'm sorry I didn't move that there. And it's going to be on the Vikings. So move the chains, for a first down. Not necessarily for the first down, for a first down movement or anything, but just a movement on the penalty is going to put the Lions, put the ball on the other side of the Vikings 50. With 10:50 left in this game, Lions are up by a touchdown. And the Vikings defense is going to look to step up big, but Lions can get it here. Lions, Ben Turner under center, he's going to hand it off. Get some yardage, and another flag. Thrown at the 42. The Lions got to the 45, so we'll see what it is. It looks like it probably could be on the Vikings. Personal foul, face mask on the Vikings, so move the ball 15 yards. So the Lions have gotten maybe 4 yards of actual offense, but instead the ball has been moved 30 yards from where they got the ball on the 4th down stop to now to the 30-yard line, where they are now in prime position, prime real estate to score. Tommy Lloyd's is the back in the backfield. Ben Turner's under center. He's got 3 receivers, 2 on the left, 2 on the close side of your screen. Travis Gay's motion, but Tommy Lloyd got the ball, and instead he only got a yard or two. Under 10 minutes now. And again, this game is, I don't want to say for all the marbles, but this game is for the marbles of the East Zone representative in the state championship game. We're going to try to get you up to date with the Kelly All Saints game if we can get another timeout at some point. But for now, 2nd down, into the pile, maybe get a few yards. But a 3rd and long is coming for the gold cleated quarterback Ben Turner. They say a touch of gold gets you a long way. Well, for Ben, it looks like it's gotten him most of the way this last few games. Ben's under center again. He looks to fake play action. Pressure coming. He's going to break away to the 30, to the 50, to the 10. Get taken down around the 8-yard line. Move the chains. 1st and goal for the Lions. And that was number 12, Chris Constantine, pressuring Ben Turner. Forced him to go on the far sideline. And down the sideline he went. It's going to be a timeout. An injury timeout. That was 21, Keegan Theron. He's going to be okay. The clock is going to continue to run after the injured player is off the field. It was a 1st down. The last play was a 1st down carry by Ben Turner. Got the 1st down, 20-yard carry. Lions at the 8-yard line, letting this clock continue to run. And a chance to put them up by 2 scores. Ben Turner's going to be under center. Tommy Lloyd's the back. Two receivers on the close side. See what they do. Turner, the motion to Travis Gay. He sees a hole. Gets to the 5. Gets to the 5, so a 2nd and... Oh, I'm sorry, he did not get anywhere. He maybe got inches, but not quite the 5. He's at the 6-yard line is where the ball is being spotted. Second and goal. 6 to go. 6 yards to go, rather, not 6 to go. 6 yards to go. 7:15 left. Lions looking for their second offensive touchdown of the night. The first one coming off a Tommy Lloyd 10-yard run, untouched. Motion, snap to Tommy Lloyd. The whistle was blown. He did make it into the end zone, but the whistle was blown. It was a false start or illegal formation by the offense, by the Lions. So back it up 5 yards. Try this one again. Second and goal from now the 11-yard line. Tommy Lloyd did make it to the end zone, but does not count. So now the Lions rethink their play calling. They've got the play. They've got the play. Here we go. Ben Turner. Under center again. Tommy Lloyd's the back. Travis Gay's going to be put in motion. Tommy Lloyd gets some yardage. Maybe 2 or 3. So a 3rd and goal from the back from the original, where the original line of scrimmage was. 3rd and goal from the 9. Lions are going to need to put some points on the board here in this possession. Ben Turner is under center. Tommy again. 2 receivers, 1 on each side. Number 15, Garland McClure on the close side here. Just watch him. Ben Turner is going to put Travis Gay in motion. Here's the play. He's going to take it himself to the 5. Down around the 1 was Ben Turner. So like that, the clock continues to run. 5:40 left in this game. 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, and now you got to elect. Do you want points or do you want to go for it? And if you're the Lions, I would go for it. You pin the Vikings down into the you pin the Vikings down deep in their end zone. If you don't get it, and if you miss the field goal, but you are in field goal range. And the clock continues to run. I don't know if it is timeout. I was going to say the clock continued to run. It's going to be a timeout on the line, so that's their second timeout to debate this decision, to figure out this decision. The Lions burned a timeout, so they're down to 1. Vikings still have 2 in their back pocket. 4th quarter, 5:13 to go. 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Lions are up 14-7. They've got the ball. They score. They've got a chance to put this one away, or at least get the go-ahead score to put it in a far enough margin to be play a little bit safer. They don't get it, and they force a chance for the Vikings to come back and potentially score. So it looks like they have elected to go for it after that timeout. So Ben Turner, they tried this on the other side of the field to end the half. It didn't work. See if they do it again. Ben Turner's going to drop back. He's going to throw. Incomplete. Incomplete. So the Lions don't get anything. And for the second time tonight, on the 4-yard line or closer, they do not get any points. So it's still a 1-score ball game. 14-7, 5:09 to go. The Vikings are going to have the ball on their own 3, being pressured. They're going to need to get some space. If you're the Lions, you just got to keep pressuring them. Keep the play calling the same. Defensively, you've been doing the right thing. And West is back there with Keyshawn Johnson. You've got 3 receivers all on this side. 69, that's Juan Dang is going to come in. And it looks like the Vikings are going to have to call a timeout. And the Vikings will call a timeout, so it brings them to the. So it brings each team to 1 timeout remaining. And with that, we're going to get you updated with some scores across the nation, across the state. St. Pius is beating Antonian 41-14. Grant Gunnell's having a great day. Lutheran South, that LSCSN game of the week. Lutheran South is defeating Cypress Christian 22-15. Lutheran South is undefeated in district, looking to continue that. Lutheran North is defeating First Baptist Christian 40-7. That's in Division 3 action. Liberty Christian and Trinity Christian, that's the Dallas ones. Liberty Christian out of Argyle is losing 15-0. And finally, Nolan Catholic is beating All Saints, not our All Saints, the Fort Worth All Saints, 16-7. We're going to try to get you. And St. Joseph is losing the Westbury Christian 7-6 early in that one. We'll try to get you the All Saints score as soon as we can, the Kelly All Saints. But for now, Vikings are backed up. West is in his end zone. He has a man, number 8, Trajan Lewis, who stayed in bounds, so the clock is going to continue to run. They get some space. So no longer in the end zone, but it's a 2nd and short from the 10-yard line. West again with Keyshawn Thomas next to him, and he's going to hand it off to Keyshawn. So it's going to be a 1st down. Move the chains. Vikings are going to need a score fairly quickly. 4:30 and counting. And the Vikings are definitely, they're looking to continue the pass. They've got 3 on the outside, 3 receivers on this side. It's a handoff to Keyshawn Thomas. And again, gets some yardage, 2nd and 5. But he stayed in bounds, so the clock continues to run. And we do not have a score for the Kelly Catholic and All Saints district game that's going on that could decide the fate of Village. So we'll try to get you as best we can. But West goes over here to 21. Keegan Theron. Move the chains to the 30-yard line. So 3:40 to go. 3:40 to go and counting, and the Vikings still need a score to tie this game. This could be a huge drive if they get it on this one. Low snap. West getting pressured. He's going to run it himself. He's going to get to the 40, slides down around the 45. See where they're going to mark him at the 44, so it's a 1st down. Stays in bounds, but the clock is going to stop briefly for the 1st down and continue to run. We're not quite under 3 minutes left, but the Lions defense definitely looks tired. I wonder if Coach Richardson will burn his timeout or if he's just going to wait. West looks to throw. He's getting pressured. He's going to run it himself. He gets to the 45, to the 50, to the 45. He spins around out of bounds at the 42. That's going to stop the clock briefly. And there is a flag. There is a flag on the Vikings. Looked like it was a hold. Excuse me. Looks like it was a hold on the Vikings. So that 1st down does not mean much, just takes time off the clock. So they're going to put the Vikings at the 38-yard line. 2:56 to go. 14-7 lead for the Lions. They've scored both those touchdowns in the 2nd half, and the Vikings have been held scoreless up to this point. West is going to be alone in the backfield. 5 receivers out. He's looking to pass. He gets pressured. He's going to run it himself. He throws it incomplete. Really nobody there. He was trying to throw to 21. Again, Keegan Theron. So far his favorite target tonight. He's been targeting him at least 8 times tonight. Him and Austin Hill. Austin Hill has more catches, but Keegan's been he's been pretty covered the last 2 times. And it looks like Trajan Lewis comes in as a receiver. Maybe some trickeration involved here. Kajon Thomas is back in the backfield. The snap is going to go to West, and he's going to look to throw. He's going deep to nobody. Not sure what he was doing there. So it brings up a 3rd and long with 2:33 on the clock. We're going to let our clock run down so we can catch up to that. But 2:33 on the clock after that incomplete pass. Vikings going to get 2 shots here to continue this drive. And he takes a snap. West goes to the far sideline. He's looking to throw. Incomplete. So 4th down. So 4th down coming. Vikings is probably going to be their last chance unless they can get a 3 and out. Unless they can force a 3 and out on the Lions offense. The Lions are 2 minutes away. 2 minutes and 28 seconds away from sealing the deal. But the Vikings have been 1 for 2 on 4th down conversions tonight, and they throw, and Keegan Theron catches it and then gets yardage, and just like that, this possession continues. And again, a crucial 4th down. A crucial 4th down for the Vikings. Puts the Vikings in Lions territory with about 2 minutes to go. The Vikings need to get something here. West gonna take it himself, call his own number. Get to the 45. Didn't get it out of bounds. So the clock is going to continue the run. Under 2 minutes now. No 2-minute warning, so the clock is just going to keep going. Vikings have 1 timeout in their pocket, same as the Lions. They need to call it. Vikings. West looks to throw. He's getting pressured. And 13, Matt Jasek brings him down. 13 on 13 matchup, and Matt Jasek wins that one. And they're waving their hands to stop the clock here. And a sack for Matt Jasek in a crucial time. And their quarterback, 13, Joquan West, went down on that play. He seems to be getting up. He seems like he's okay. And Village called their final timeout. No injury, just timeout. My apologies. So the Vikings are down to no timeouts. The Lions have 1 left in their for use. The Vikings are gonna be running full, probably no huddle offense with 83 seconds to go in this game. Down by a score, looking for a score to tie this game and go to overtime. 1:23 left in regulation. And you have to remember how this drive started. This drive started at the Viking 4-yard line after the Lions did not get the 4th down conversion. And the Vikings have traveled all the way to the 45. That's a 41-yard drive so far, and it's got to be at least 8 or 9 plays. With a crucial 4th down conversion, and they're facing a long 3rd down. They have to get to the 37, looks like. Or 36, I'm sorry, 36. West is going to have Keyshawn in his backfield. He's dropping way back. He's looking to throw. And it's a catch by Keegan Theron to the end zone. Touchdown, Vikings. And just like that, we're about to have a tie game with 1:11 to go. Wow. And he threw over the defender into traffic. I don't even know exactly what number that was, but boy, are the Vikings excited. Going from nothing, and you have to think, 96-yard drive, folks. 96-yard drive for the Vikings that just resulted in a 40 or 53-yard touchdown pass by West after the timeout. Great timeout called by the Vikings coaching staff. And if you're the Vikings, you could risk it and go for 2. No time would come off the clock, so you give the Lions the ball with 1:11 to go. You're going for 2. Smart play to try to seal this one, not go to overtime. You've been the weaker opponent the whole time. And there is a flag on the play, which might want, it's a false start on the Vikings. So that's going to push the 2-point conversion attempt back 5 yards. And to think you might send out your kicker now, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to send out their kicker, 34, Francesco Castelli. And so that's good. That might come back to haunt them. Either way, if you're Lions, you've gotten some extra point blocks. I would be careful here. You could get it. Castelli's got to come up big. Number 34. You watch out for the fake too. You never know. I saw some conversation. And it is good. So just like that, your score, Lions 14, Vikings 14. If the Lions can't get anything going here, we might be headed to overtime, folks. Boy, would that be exciting. Both teams know the implications of this game. And my goodness, I don't think I could repeat them even more. And exciting. And on the one night we travel to a game, we might see overtime. Would that be that would be pretty impressive. I've seen some college games that aren't even this impressive this season. And boy, have I watched a lot of college football. So 14-14 is your new score. To help if I updated the score. Lions have 1 timeout in their pocket. You could be playing field goal range football right here. You'd probably need to get to the 25 to the 20-yard line for Ben Turner's leg. And depending on where they receive this kick, that could be anywhere from a 35-yard drive to a 60-yard drive. It just depends. But either way, the Lions definitely can finish this one if they. And the kickoff, it's going to be a line drive way back there. Get some space. Got a hole. That's Travis Gay on the far sideline to the 40. Maybe right at the 40. So the Lions, they take 8 seconds off the clock on that play. So 1 minute and 3 seconds. They're going to have 63 seconds to drive down the field. Get a chance to win this one. They're going to start at the 39-yard line. So a touchdown drive would be a 61-yard touchdown drive. A field goal drive would probably somewhere around a 40-yard drive. That's 3 big plays. All you need is 3 big plays here. You're looking to get out of bounds on some of those plays. You do have a timeout if you need it. And they don't want to start the clock yet because there was an extra ball on the field. And now the Vikings crowd is re-energized. So let's see what the Lions offense can do. 1:03 on the clock. Motion. Ben hands it off. Or he goes to throw. And he's got a man. He's got a man at the 40. And it's incomplete. No, I'm sorry. I thought he caught it. incomplete. He had so much green space that he forgot to catch the ball. So less than a minute to go. Now, that took 10 seconds off the clock. Ben Turner ran up in the pocket and then tried to find a man. So 53 seconds, second down from the 39-yard line. You got to get at least some, you have to get some play going, or you can just run it twice and go to overtime. But if you're the Lions, you got a timeout in your pocket, you might as well go for it. Go for all the marbles in this game. Travis Gay and Garland McClure, the receivers on this right side. Ben Turner's going to drop back. He's looking to throw. He's got a man. He's looking deep. Incomplete. And Garland had it playing center field. All he had to do was make the catch, and instead he dropped the ball with 46 seconds to go. 46 seconds to go. Tie game. A 3rd down and 10 for the Lions. The Lions have a timeout remaining. You have to get the 3rd down to use that timeout. Otherwise, you're going to just, and you probably should run it so you can run at the clock if you think you can't, depending on what the play they call. If they're going to go deep again, you have to be very careful because the clock could just run out. Here we go. It's a snap to, oh, they're trying their trick, and it gets to Ben Turner, and he stays in bounds. He stays in bounds to the 30, to the 20, to the 25, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Lions! But there is a flag, multiple flags, and it could be this thing might be coming back. Right now it's a touchdown. Right now it's a touchdown. He stayed in bounds the entire time. There were both refs threw flags from the end zones. It might have been showboating into the end zone, and what you shouldn't do that. It might be excessive celebration after the touchdown. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. So looks like it was not after the touchdown. So they're going to spot the ball at the 16, and boy, Ben Turner, that play almost worked again. That was a variation of Toledo. Almost worked, and it did. And then Ben tried to showboat his way into the end zone. And my friend, you can't do that. So 33 seconds on the clock. Lions definitely in field goal range now. All you got to do, you have a timeout in your pocket. All you have to do is get maybe another few yards to make this a manageable field goal, but you got to snap it quickly so you don't get a delay of game. 3, they snap it. Ben Turner goes to throw it. He's got a receiver, Garland McClure, to the end zone. Oh, it's a fumble. He's going to be stopped at the 1. He's going to be short at the 1-yard line. And boy, was that, man, he had space. He just lost it right at the end. He was able to recover it, but he lost at the end. 7 seconds to go now. Tie game at the 1-yard line. At the 1-yard line. I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure I saw the ball come out. But it was not a fumble. I think he was trying to reach over and didn't get the touchdown. So now you have to think, do you go for the field goal and try to seal this one and just pooch kick it out on the kickoff, or do you go for the touchdown? I mean, let's just remember the last 2 times they were inside the 4. End of the first half, couldn't get it in. Over here, the drive before Village went down and scored a touchdown, they couldn't get in. 7 seconds to go on the half-yard line, folks. And the Lions are going to kick it. That's Ethan Mills on the hold. Ben Turner to kick. And the kick is up. And it is good. Ben Turner with the field goal. The 11, maybe the 18-yard field goal for the Lions. That's going to put the Lions up by 3. And it looks like that's going to be good. So the field goal is good. So like that, the Lions take a 3-point lead with 4 seconds to go on the game clock. As we've got an exciting ending to this one, to what has been an instant classic the whole game. So we'll see how this one ends. Anything can happen in 4 seconds, folks. These fans that are leaving early, anything can happen in 4 seconds. We've seen that with just about every college football game that has been close. But that field goal definitely is the go-ahead at this point. Not necessarily game-winning, just go-ahead field goal. And you have to credit, you have to say that twice the Lions had a chance for a touchdown to seal it, to make it a 21-14. But you know what? Field goals are good. Field goals, you'll get the field goals when you need them. And the Lions are going to kick off. You have to think it's going to be a pooch squib kick that they're going to want to make sure that runs out the clock. Or either way, if it isn't a pooch kick and you kick it deep and you force the Vikings to throw it deep once, the problem is that might be bad. So we'll see what the Lions elect to do. The clock will not start until the ball hits the ground, folks. So not when it's in the air, but when it hits the ground. And they pooch it until he picks it up, which looks like this could be the end. And there's 0 on the clock. That's zeros on the clock. That's zeros on the clock. Is that it? Or is there 1 second on the clock? Is there 0 or is there 1 second on the clock? And that's it. That's it. Zeros on the clock, and the refs are walking off the field. Folks, for only the second time in school history, your St. John, the 23rd Lions, are going to the state championship game. They just went undefeated in their East Zone district, defeating Village, All Saints, and Kelly. A big round of applause to Village for letting us come out here and broadcast tonight's game. But your final score is 17-14. And we thank you for watching Friday Night Football on Lions Sports Network. And folks, depending on what happens, we may see you at the state championship game for a broadcast, maybe radio. It may be video and radio and audio, but we will see you next week at the state championship game against St. Mary's Hall. Signing off from Viking Field for the final time in the regular season. I am George Kopf with Lions Sports Network. We'll be back next year for sure with regular season coverage, but stick with us for the state championship game, which stay tuned. Info will be coming soon. We'll have basketball in the winter, baseball and softball in the spring. And your final, again, Lions 17, Vikings 14. So long, good night. We leave you with this image of the Lions praying. Signing off, I'm George Kopf from Viking Field. So long, take care, and as always, it's a great day to be a Lion. You've been watching Lions Sports Network's coverage of Friday Night Football.